Oh yeah, okay. You see that? They added more. A lot of people added more.
All right, good morning. Hello. This is a great little group here. I'm going to shift this over. Hopefully my Facebook is on just fine there. Let me go back to my Zoom and share my screen. All right, people are starting to come in here. Yes.
Okay, because Stacy Hinky said she can't get in.
Yeah, Buzz is on, so we are in there.
Okay,
So
I'll let her know that it's on. That she
okay,
should
you're
go
on
on
it right now. All right, let me figure out where I'm sharing this and see if we can get over to this screen. So Buzz, do you have that up there? All right. Good morning, everyone. We are live on Facebook and live here with a small, intimate group. Happy fall. How about that? Isn't that awesome? We are being recorded and so excited to have the weather change until this weekend when it decided to get hot again. Like, wait, what happened with that? Like, oh my gosh, we had our first marching band competition and I had to deal with some poor kid from Ohio who had just moved here and had a knee injury, and then walking with the knee injury in a full uniform, and she was ready to pass out. So trying to help her get electrolytes in and get her uniform off to cool her down quickly. She was like, I don't understand. Like, well, welcome to Arizona. It's a little warmer here. It was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was right at the heat of the day. So let's get started. I've changed this around, so hopefully we'll do this with a slideshow. There we go. Oh my gosh, folks, what is it? We have a lot of August, that'd be good. October birthdays. So any of you with birthdays here? Happy birthday? No? Happy birthday to whoever's online. We hope you're having a great month. Should be a beautiful month. And like I said, we got a lot of birthdays this month. Seems like a popular month for kiddos there. So October anniversaries. A lot of you, I don't know who Steve is. Does anybody know Steve? So Steve has been here 11 years, Troy 12 years. That's pretty impressive. I've been here almost 16 now, and it's pretty incredible to see those large numbers. Because when I started with Realty One Group, there were only 200 agents in Arizona in 2008. So we've come a long, long way. So happy anniversary for all of those on this list. So, we thought the market had slowed down, and yeah, it did a little bit, but look, we still did 59 million out of this office last month. Okay. And 129 lives. I think that's the amazing thing, is the 129 people. So I think last month we did 151. So if you think about it, that's not that many fewer transactions in reality. So it's pretty incredible that we did that. Now, obviously, this list is a smaller list, right? But if we had 129 lives and these are the names up here, means we had a lot of other people doing transactions, just not $1 million worth. So congratulations to all of you that were active last month and keeping busy. Let's talk about the numbers. All right. So I did some corrections, and I think we should have everything now balanced so we can go month to month and really compare back to each month. I also fixed on the future slide, you'll see in just a second, I fixed the error I had from last month. I was able to redo it. But quick market snapshot, 5,563 homes did sell in September. So that number, believe it or not, the number of sold was actually, was down just a tad bit. So the numbers up at the top are matching this slide here, because of course, this is not Maricopa County. This is ARMLS. right? So you will see a shift when we shift to these other numbers, because once we narrow it down to Maricopa, how many of you have noticed those listings in Marana and Flagstaff and Munns Park that are in our ARMLS? So that's why after this, I pull it down to Maricopa County and then within 10 miles. So skipping down to Maricopa County, we were actually up on actives, not a surprise, right? Even the single families were up, 932 more listings. UCP and pending were down, and coming soon were down. I don't know why I don't have sales there. We probably need to add sales in there, but the 10-mile radius, really not a huge change either direction when you think about it. 330 up is not that much active shift to have 330 additional listings. As we know, this time of year, usually we're slowing down, right? This is traditionally the time of year. In fact, Leaf, you didn't bring that to me. Eric brought me a sheet to show seasonal changes. I'm going to see if I can get him to give me that slide, because it was fascinating. Over the past 15 years, the same exact figure of seasonal adjustment has occurred here, even with all of our crazy markets. So oddly enough, would anybody guess in the next 4 months which month we see an increase? Any guesses? October, November, December, January. Which of those months do we see an increase in sales? Closes. December, January. December actually has an increase, and then we drop slightly in January, and then we start our incline February, March, April, May. So, but here, let's look around here. So active listings 2511, again, it was up just a little bit. UCB and pending down just a little bit on both, but really not even 100 homes. This is not a huge shift, folks. Coming soon, I love this, 9 and 18. Yeah, we're gonna couple of those coming soon. How many of you are using coming soon feature? How many are you putting your properties? How many are you doing it more than 5 days? So most of you are putting it on for what, 2 or 3 days? Monday, Tuesday, and then on the market by Friday? Yes? Yes? Yeah. Okay. And people online, Buzz, are you watching online chat? We've got somebody helping me to try and keep the people online.
No question.
Okay, how many people do we have online? About 4 in the Zoom. I can't see the. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next slide. All right. Oop, we've got. Oh. Hold on a second. We're gonna take your. I'm not sure who's got the photo there, but we're gonna take you so you're not on our screen, because we can't see our screen. Sorry about that. Bye. Okay, we'll get me out of here. All right, so here is the last 3 months, current to 3 months. And I did, oh, it wasn't on this one, the other one. So if you look at this, we've got the total number of comparable sales. Now, this is obviously for 3 months, right? But the absorption rate is what we're looking at here. This is where our huge jump was. From 1.18 months to 2.63 months, much longer to sell, right? That's where we're seeing the huge shift. Not in price. Price jumped only $5,000. That's nothing. And the this is list price only jumped $1,000. So again, that's not where your change is. The change is it's taking longer to sell. Right? To go from just about 1 month to over 2.5 months. Things are taking longer. Make sure you are setting your expectations with your clients if you are taking a listing, so they understand things are taking longer to sell. Very, very important that you do that. I'm just doing this tracking to kind of see month to month what is happening. And again, this is where you're kind of seeing this shift. You're not seeing the larger one there. Here is around our office. Up on the top, hopefully you can see the median home price increased about $5,000 in our little area to $680. The sales price, excuse me, the list price decreased by $500. So again, you're not seeing much fluctuation here, even though this area encompasses everything from Paradise Valley to, Desert Ridge. Really, 5 miles is a huge circle around here, or 10 miles, excuse me, is a huge circle around here. But again, here's our big jump. And I did fix this from last month. This was blank, so I fixed this. But we are in this area, we're almost to 3 months supply. So that is a huge shift if you're doing activity right here, that there has been a large increase in time on the market. Shift in price again, increase in the sales price, $5,000. The shift here from the list price is only $500 down. It's really not much. The percentage of sales price is pretty much staying 98, 99. What this, of course, doesn't show is concessions, which we know is taking place right now. Okay. How many of you have recently had a listing where your seller gave concessions? Right. So a couple of you. How many of you as buyer's agents are asking for concessions? Like, right. So everybody's trying to do that. Okay. How many of you thought you got hit with spam from us? No, you're not the only one. We had a ton of people. I didn't know if I should answer this. Okay, truly, our office is auditing. Yes. The IRS was after you. No, the IRS is not after you. No, our office is auditing our files. So if you had a W-9 that was prior to 2018, we have asked you to revise your W-9 for our system. That's all it is. If you're new here, you wouldn't have gotten it. It's only those that were older than 2018. Here's the trick. What name has to be on that W-9?
Match the license.
Ah, yes. People are not happy about that. Sorry. If you've got a PLC or LLC, then it has to be that name, because if you put your license in that name, right, it has to match your real estate license. Now, we've had several people call us and say, but that's not what I put on my taxes. It's like, well, that's what your W-9 is supposed to say. And it's funny because that's probably what your 1099 says, because that's how you're getting paid. So I don't know how you're matching your 1099 to your tax returns if you're not putting it on there, but that's between you and your accountant. We just need it to match your license. So please do fill that out. We have a special guest today. So we're going to have you come up, and I'm going to move my camera so we can see if I can get you on the camera. We have Lucille here of Lucille's Baked Goods. She's getting some of her cool stuff over there, but I'll put this on the screen here. Thank you for joining us, Lucille. So for those at home, you're out of luck because you don't get to taste these really cool cookies we have. If you come into the office today, I'll try and save some for you. So
hi, everyone. So my name's Lucille. I'm from Lucille's Baked Goods. And thank you for having me at your meeting. I brought you some samples, some of the top 3 bestsellers: Ultimate Peanut Butter, Snickerdoodles, and in the back is Oatmeal Crispy Raisin. Have a website. The turnaround time is about 48 hours. We ship throughout the US. We do have a local delivery pickup, which is available to you. So who doesn't like getting cookies for an open house, maybe for your people that come in, or after you sell a home? So I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. So we have a couple of different options for you as well. We do cookies, we do brownies, and we do bundt cakes. So we have these boxes that you could get that come in, if you would look just like the box. Custom tissue paper, all the labels, everything's in here. We also have a box here that you have the availability to also, if you'd like, get this box. So you can get this box as well. These have cookies in it, and I'm going to leave these for you guys. Then we also have these custom tins. So if you'd like to send your client a custom tin or present that tin, these are the cookies that come in there. And these are all the cookies. Okay. And we also have a store. So each box or each everything will get this store. And it's the instructions on how to store your cookies. Say you don't want to eat the full dozen. and you want to put them in the freezer, or you may have company. You can put them in the freezer. You can either microwave them for a couple of minutes or put them into the oven. I have a cookie club that I have a 3, 6, 9, and 12-month subscription. You would get a dozen cookies every month. You wouldn't know what you're getting because it's a surprise. So you would get a dozen. So some of them could be molasses bacon, apple pie spice, espresso walnut chocolate. So there's lots of different things. You don't have to sign up for the subscription. You could do it month to month. If you do sign up for the subscription, you do get a little bit of a discount. So it's that, and it's cancellation fee. There's no fees to cancel. We also have a cookie collection. We have a nut free for those people that can't have nuts, that are allergy free. So we have a chocolate sugar cookie, a red velvet cookie, and a snickerdoodle. Then we have my most popular, which is an oatmeal raisin crisp, a chunky chocolate chip cookie that has 5 different types of chocolate in it: bittersweet, white chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, toffee bits, and pecans. And then I have the ultimate peanut butter cookie that has dry salted peanuts in it, as well as crunchy peanut butter. And then for my favorites, we have M&Ms, we have brown butter chocolate chip, and we have Waikiki Island cookie. So the Waikiki is kind of like when you're in Hawaii. It has that toasted coconut, flake coconut. It has macadamia nuts, lots of chocolate. So all the pictures are on the website. I do have, like I said, bun cakes that we do. We have a funfetti cookie. We have a funfetti birthday cake. So who doesn't like getting a birthday cake in their mail for someone whose birthday is? Like, I've had friends and family and everything. So I thank you for allowing me to attend your meeting. Yes.
Do you ship across the United States?
Yes. And it's a priority mail. It's a flat rate shipping of $20.95. It's 2 to 3 days. And we ship on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, because we don't want that to sit in the post office. So that's when we ship. And the turnaround notice is about 48 hours. So if you like me and follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I hope that I get some feedback from you guys, and I hope that I'll see you.
Now,
What's your Facebook page?
Lucille's Baked Goods.
so same as the website, just,
And then
Yep.
how about local, like, versus shipping, delivery?
So local pickup is just $10.
Okay. so
That's
you-
it.
oh,
And you have it on the checkout page. You could either choose local pickup, and then you don't pay for the cookie. When I meet you,
uh-huh,
I charge you on my Square.
okay,
When you're on the website, you pay through PayPal with your credit cards.
okay.
And you'll get a thing from me saying, hey, great, I got the order. We're working on it. We're turning the ovens on. So I hope you
Now,
enjoy.
are you someplace local here that we would find your cookies?
Right now, next week, I'm gonna be at the Arizona Soccer Field Association. I got their contract. We're gonna be at the Bell 94th Street Complex at 8 o'clock till the cookies sell out. I'm headed over to Penske Auto Mall, so they're thinking about carrying all my cookies at their dealerships. So I'm there.
How much is your subscription for a 12-month, like a month?
Have to pull up my website. I
Okay.
don't know it off the top of my head. And then I'm also trying to have a meeting at DraftKings that's opening by TPC about carrying my stuff. And then I'm trying to get American Airlines and Admirals Club. So my husband just left for Philadelphia this morning. So every time he's flying, I pack up stuff for the crew, pilots, and gate agents. They give me a shout out. They gave him a shout out this morning. So I'm trying to get that set up with someone in Texas to get my stuff in the club and on the flights for first class, or you purchase it through the cabin.
Anybody know anybody with American Airlines there?
Well, Phil Ilsom, he's the CEO, but I have to really I'm targeting the food and beverage managers. There's 2 of them. So I'm hoping for that. And I have my business cards up here. And also, I have an email. So if you guys have any questions at all, please just feel free to reach out to me. I will answer the emails. And I hope I gain your business.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your coming today.
So I'm gonna just empty these cookies in the back. Those cookies are for you guys as well. And then I'm gonna be off and enjoy your meeting.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I did
Thank
not,
you all.
we'll have to fix this so I don't have a halo next time. Did not realize it.
We gained big business.
Oh.
Get on that treadmill then.
All right, I have thrown in here a slide for something, and Barb, if you want to jump in, because we've got Ricky coming to talk on a CE class coming up. Excited.
Everybody. Hello.
Come on.
You have a camera. Hello. So we have a CE class coming up. Ricky Camus is our president for Epic Lending. And he will be teaching our CE course here October 25th upstairs of the Rock Title office. So I think the capacity is 30. So we have an Eventbrite link so that we can send it out and, you know, first come, first serve, obviously. It's free. It'll be on divorce real estate from 9 to 12 that day. And I think that afternoon, Melissa will be talking about her activity that she's having that afternoon. So we're not conflicting, which is good. And then if, you know, once that class fills up, we'll add another one probably for early December. So you guys can get your C hours in. And, you know, any feedback on what you're wanting to learn more about too, let me know.
Right.
And as far as Epic Lending as a whole,
I'll cover you later.
oh, I'll come back. Anyway, CE class, the Eventbrite will go out and then it's registered, so you can get on the list. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Can everybody please take out their phones? Everybody take out your phones. You, oh, how did you not bring your phone? You can do this too. Okay. All right. How many of you have a YouTube channel? Go log into your YouTube channel.
Well, we have them already.
Thank you. He knows what I'm going to say. I've asked and I've asked and I've asked. So I'm going to make you do it while I'm standing here.
Yes.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have our own YouTube channel and it has all these office meetings. It is Realty One Group, Paradise Valley. No exclamation point. Sorry. Please go on and subscribe. If we get 100 subscribers, it's easier to find us. Just so you know, that's how YouTube works. You get to actually name your site, even though that's our site, we're searching for it. If we actually get 100 subscribers, then your name it comes up in normal pull-ups. So
it also helps to like them. So I've liked a couple.
thank you. And so for those that don't know, we went through and took most of the recordings from the last year that Mandy did at office meetings and training classes, etc. So those are all on there. If you go on, there's a thing that you can click on the video, and literally there are hundreds of videos on there. Okay, or at least dozens and dozens and dozens. So please go on there and subscribe. It really does make a difference. And it's there as a tool, because if you have a question about something and you're like, gosh, I know Mandy talked about that, you can go jump and look back and see that. Kia, one of our agents, put titles on all of these so you can see what the subject matter was. It's pretty easy to find and scroll through and look for something. Obviously, the office meetings are a little bit different, but our guests that were here, even when the commissioner came and spoke, that is on here. We have it recorded, so please enjoy. There's some really great videos. All right, save the date. We'll have some information about signing up for that. We're waiting on the links from our One Cares, because we are going to do this. I think last year the money, I don't know how they collected the money, but this year the money for your tickets, which is a donation, all goes to One Cares. So we are raising money to give back to the community, as we have always done on our Christmas parties. That does not go to me to cover the event. It actually goes to a charity. So I hope you guys will join us that night. How many of you are coming to the summit? I'm only seeing a few people on there. So please, please, please go on and get your tickets. We've only got about 5 people from Paradise Valley right now. Just so you know, Arizona has over about 80 people coming from Arizona. So we're just like coming slowly in the background here. But the important thing is these tickets that we have for $555, those go away on October 31st. So buy your ticket before then. You don't actually have to pay for it. You just have to go onto the link that we have on my newsletter and you have to say, yes, I'm buying a ticket. Nevada still hasn't hit their 50, although I expect they will. We are far surpassing them. Of course, we've got a lot more agents here actually than they have in Nevada, so that would be why. All right. So we have a lot of stuff coming up. How many of you have taken a Rev Up class? Who has attended a Rev Up class? Okay. Hopefully all of you know there are 12 Rev Up classes. You can take them in any sequence you want. They are almost every single Friday, 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. We put them in our newsletter so you can see which one is at what time. And there are different links to register to go into those classes. So don't forget to do that beforehand. But they're really quite nice. I mean, last time I had 3 agents on there with me. They're taught live by a broker. We teach the class live and interact with the people in the classroom. We do not record these because they're meant to continue and, change with the times. We update what our conversation is. The last time people wanted to know a little more about some different branding items versus the farming, then we talked about the farming. So I talk about branding and farming. Wouldn't have been my choice, but it was Mandy's class. So I get to take over that, which is fine. It's a lot of fun actually talking to people about how to set up their branding and how to set up farming. And I know a couple of you are working some farming stuff with Rock Title and found out the hard way. You can't farm a zip code, folks. In Arizona, our zip codes are huge. So farming, you want to find an area that you're going to focus on, maybe 200 or 300 houses if you are just starting your farming. So again, we go over this and try and help agents if that's something they want to get into. If you've been thinking about that, come join me on the 20th. I'm at 1 o'clock. You do need to register for it. Heather always puts in the links for each of those signups so you have them for that Zoom class, okay? All right, so Monday, we had a little shift this month. I normally have my manager's meeting this week, and instead it's gonna be next week. So Epic and Rock Title will be doing something next Monday for us for our Monday Mastermind. And then I had talked about doing CE classes for to address contracts. Unfortunately, it looks like the paperwork and the hoops I have to jump through to get those 1-hour classes to be CE verified, it's just not going to happen this month. And I know a lot of you are like, please, let's go over the buyer broker. So I will go ahead and start the buyer broker and then purchase contract. Not next week, but the following week, the 23rd, because I know everybody's wanting to talk about that. It will not be a C class. I was hoping I could do that. I am licensed, but to get the material approved is a different set of hoops that I have to do. So I did add the October 25th, the divorce class that Epic is hosting. And then the afternoon, we are doing the Pop by Palooza, which should be one of my next slides. So this is on the 25th. We have limited reservations for this. We are providing pop buys. There'll be 10 pop buys for, I think there are only 20 slots. So if you want to do that, if that's something you're interested in doing, please sign up. I believe there is an RSVP on our newsletter, so go to that. All right, just a reminder, folks, if you refer 3 people to us, you get a year for free. That's $600. So don't forget about that. You are probably the loudest billboard I could have, and I appreciate it. I love your comments and thank you so much. I've seen them on Facebook. I've seen them be posted elsewhere, and I really do appreciate that. If you hear from somebody that's looking for a change in office, please ask them to set up an appointment with me. I'd be happy to speak with them. So yes, ma'am. Oh, awesome. Look at that. Yay. I will sign up to try and get them in. And I've got an interview this afternoon with somebody looking to make a change. It's interesting, I've been in the business 26 years. It's interesting what makes people want to look at one company versus another, or the new agents. We still have a lot of new agents that are getting their licenses. So it's fascinating to watch who is coming out of different industries or who is, deciding that this is a career they want to pursue. So it's kind of fun. All right, ma'am, Miss Barb, you're on.
Hi again. Don't forget October 25th for the CE class. The link is in the newsletter, or will be in the newsletter this coming weekend. But I could also send it out. And if you guys got more than one market movement yesterday, I know that I sent one out to all of you, and if you haven't been getting it, let me know. But our president also sent one out by accident yesterday, so he's in the process of trying to remove that, so that you don't get two. But if you want, you can unsubscribe, or he's gonna try to get that removed. But as far as
Wait. Be careful if you unsubscribe. This is something we're having with our system. If you unsubscribe, then I get this, how come I'm not receiving your newsletter? Like, because I actually have to get like a letter from you to send to our company saying, yes, you do actually want it. That was a mistake to unsubscribe, because they are very serious about.
yes, they are very serious about
Like-
subscribing, but he also is gonna remove it, so you're not getting two. But as far as Epic Lending, we have, I know there's a lot of chatter going on out there in the industry for real estate agents, title lenders, a lot of people going out of the business. We are not going anywhere. We're very solid. CMG Financial is our parent company for Epic Lending. And they're one of the largest privately held mortgage companies in the United States. You don't have to worry. We have a lot of great products for investors and your buyers. We also have programs for listing agents. So like our listing site, reach out to me. I've done it for several people that are doing the open houses that like them. We do flyers, co-branded flyers, and then as far as programs, I mean, DSCR, bank statement loans, conventional, jumbo, a VA, FHA, FHA down payment assistance, which I know some people need right now with the prices of houses being so high and not having enough money for down payment. So just reach out. I'm always happy to run those scenarios for you. And a lot of times concessions will be a lot better than lowering the price for buyers, just so that they can help cover their closing costs or buy down the rate for, a 2-1 buy down, or, permanently buying down the rate. But our rate rebound program is awesome for your buyers, because if they lock in this year, they'll have up to 5 years to refi at no lender fees and $1,000 towards title fees. Up to 5 years. So we know that rates will come down at some point, whether it's end of next year, which we're hoping, fourth quarter of 2024. But at any point within that 5 years, they'll be able to take advantage of that. So reach out to me with any questions. I'm happy to help. And does anyone have any questions on the lending side?
What programs are you seeing that are the most popular right now, like with the current digital market, current real estate situation?
That FHA down payment assistance program that we have two. We have one that's a repayable, and we have one that is a forgivable. So depending on what your client's credit looks like, the repayable is a better option if their DTI can handle it and they have a higher than 660 credit score. That tends to be the most advantageous, but we are seeing a lot of that. And then also, obviously, wanting to take advantage of the rate rebound. They always want a copy of what the terms are of that, and they're ready to jump on that when the rates come down. But yeah, I mean, all kinds of programs that are available to your buyers.
How do they repay that?
The repayable is a 10-year repayable, interest only.
And just for those that don't know, what is DTI?
Debt to income.
And is that a big issue right now?
Absolutely.
It's a huge issue right now because of the costs, because of the high interest rates. So people are really struggling with their debt to income.
Absolutely. Bob,
So-
you have a question?
Yes, with the lock and close and do it within 5 years, can you only do it once, a refi?
For the rate rebound?
Yeah.
It's one time, and you can refi as much as you want with me, of course, but the free lender fees and $1,000 towards title is a one-time rebound program.
You think your company will do that next year, thing? The rate rebound?
As of right now, I know we are through December contracts, closing by March. And I will find out probably by next week if we're gonna be extending that through at some point next year.
The down payment assistance programs that you have, those are lender paid or they're borrower paid as far as the origination fee?
They're lender paid.
Do you need seller concessions to help make those happen though?
Not always.
Okay.
It depends on the buyer, right?
Okay.
If they don't really have a lot of money, then it's gonna help to get
Sure.
concessions, obviously. And most of the time with those type of purchases, they're gonna be able to get concessions of some sort, whether it's 1% or 3%, or even up to 6% for FHA. And then I also have a cheat sheet for you guys for concessions if you need it. Because 3% is for conventional, but if your clients put more than 10% down, they can go up higher. And FHA is 6%, VA is 4%, but 4% is loose because there's other things that go outside that 4%. So I had two that closed last year that were over 4% in concessions. They were able to use it all.
Wow.
Yeah, so just reach out, and there's always creative ways.
And are your programs allowing in the concessions for part of those closing costs to be commission?
If you're a real estate agent purchasing, absolutely.
No, you're.
Oh, as far as your buyers, yeah,
You
you
say
can.
you have a buyer
Yeah.
broker agreement,
Mhm.
they're not, the MLS co-broke is not very high, and your buyers agreed to pay you, and we're getting concessions with the lender allowing.
That is part of closing costs.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if every lender felt that way.
So
It's a standard.
VA is probably not going to allow it. That would be the only one I would be concerned with. A VA buyer cannot sign a buyer broker. So that's one of the issues is with all of what's going on, a veteran cannot be held to that contract. So they are not allowed to do a buyer broker agreement. That is one of the issues with this whole this lawsuit, is because it is actually going to discriminate.
Discriminate against veterans.
Mhm. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that, but they cannot sign it because the VA loan will not permit it. So I'm assuming that they will not allow,
I'm
because
not
they
sure
can't do
on
that.
FHA when that comes to that too. We haven't had that really.
No, FHA should be,
Should be okay. We all need to know.
Yeah.
Correct.
Things are changing. and
Right.
We need to know how we earn our money and explain that to the client.
Right.
But we can't get to the end and the lender goes, oh, no, can't do that. you know?
correct.
No, for conventional, for sure. I mean, that would be considered part of the closing
Yeah.
cost, not outside of that.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay. And I think we're going to Derek next. Look, I got you down here. Well,
Good morning.
good morning. Grab this.
Thank you so much for having me. So as part of it, obviously, we're heading into the final quarter and we're all focused on helping more families. And as part of it, I always want to tee up more opportunities for all of you, especially for clients that you've previously referred for a warranty. Some of you might have already experienced this, but once a week, I pull up all the details for service requests paid. And what I do is I turn around and send them to you based on that client that you had previously referred over that has that current warranty with us. Some of the information includes the property address that obviously you helped them purchase, the client's name, that's important to know, the item that was repaired or replaced, and then the amount that we actually paid to the contractor. Because I mean, again, if it's a smaller amount, it might not be worth reaching out to your client, but especially if you gifted your client like their home warranty and the AC needed to be replaced or repaired and it's like a $3,000 job, like, hey, I'm so glad that home warranty came in handy. But especially as the holidays approach and your clients are around their family and friends, obviously you want to make sure that they think of you when their family and friends are looking to purchase or sell a property of theirs. So as part of it, the email that I send out typically is titled the value of your client's AHS warranty. And then it looks like this. I'm just kind of giving you a quick snapshot of it. But it'll say like showing your clients the value of a home warranty. It'll include your customer's information, what was replaced or repaired, their name, address, etc. So you just kind of have a good idea as far as when you reach out to them. But for reference, this office alone has had 262 paid service claims year to date. So again, you'll continue to see a lot of these come from me. Just make sure to keep your eyes out. But thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Questions? Anybody putting home warranties down and stuff? You guys have to be happy that the heat has like cooled off because that's got to be your number one cost is air conditioning units.
Yeah, especially in July.
Yeah, I bet. It was a rough summer here.
Yeah.
Any questions? No? Oh, there's some folks on chat. Hold on.
There's a question.
Asking to address AHS merging.
Oh, well, so.
They
we have-
bought somebody. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
they're
have
merging.
two separate companies that kind of merged with American Home Shield. So like our mother company is called Front Door. And American Home Shield falls underneath it, which is like the largest home warranty company. And then as of February of this year, OneGuard was one of the companies and Landmark. And so as of February, that transition started. And then like there's still contracts that exist under OneGuard and Landmark, but those will be phased out and moved over to American Home Shield.
Well, that's sad to hear, only because some of us have used, so you have a very specific way you guys deal with some of your items.
Yeah.
And Landmark and OneGuard had very different programs.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see if they merge any of that language or if it all goes to HS, because it was a different way you bought. Does everybody understand? Do you know what I'm talking about in terms of how those programs were actually set up? If you went online and looked at them, they weren't apples to apples. You had different items that were included versus not included. So it'll be interesting.
Add-on
Right.
options for like the other like Landmark and OneGuard, et cetera. And
So it'll be interesting to see how they merge that.
yeah,
Neither negative or positive, it's
Yeah.
just a transition. And again, those are two companies that I know I've had clients that have selected those as well. So
Yeah.
over the years. So, all right. Is there another question on that? There's just some chat from earlier. All right, thank
you so much.
you. Okay, let's see. What is next here? Rock Title. Oh, we have more sweets? Oh my gosh.
No, not.
Oh,
first.
oh, good. I was like, anybody wanting sweets, come into the office. We have a ton of sweets. Thanks to
I
Derek
know, I'm gonna.
and lots of cookies here too.
I know she was talking Hawaii. I just got back. I was in Hawaii. I mean, myself getting up back off the boat,
Uh-oh.
but yeah, the, obviously houses aren't, flying off the shelf like they were before. So we're back to open house kits. So if anybody is doing open houses, I brought 2 of them down. So if anybody's got one coming up this weekend, I have 2 of them that I brought down, and Art has a bunch upstairs as well. So if you're doing an open house and you want an open house kit, we've got signs in here. We've got, I'll play Vanna.
For those that don't know, this is Julia and Art from Rock Title. Sorry, I
It's
clicked the
okay.
slide and I totally forgot to introduce you. So
I've been around since 2018. I always just assume everybody knows me. We've got tips on have an open house. We've got buyer and seller guides in here. We've got feedback
tape
cards.
measures.
Yeah, we've got keychains with tape measures. We've got Post-it pads, notepads. We got chapstick. We've got mints in case you go straight there.
From lunch.
Yeah, so from lunch. But yeah, and then we've got some different information on pricing and stuff in there as well. So, yeah. Yeah, so go ahead and I brought 2 down. So if you're having an open house, feel free to grab one. I'll leave them on the end of the counter. As Barb mentioned, Barb has some great programs. I had a disaster yesterday. I have a refi that's been going for 14 months. And yesterday, the guy finally goes, you do a lot of transactions, right? Do you know of a different lender? I think my lender's the problem. I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. And so Barb's actually helping them. But as Barb mentioned on the refi, for Rock Title, we have a standard flat $350 escrow fee for refis. That's if it's 5 million or if it's 100,000. Our refi escrow is $350. Obviously, the title ranges based on it. Right. And then a lot of people, I don't know if you know, but we have different policies and we have different discounts, to where one of the things that I'm seeing is people that when the houses were flying off the shelf, they bought the house that their offer got accepted, and now they're realizing that that wasn't the house for them. So I'm actually closing transactions that have just closed in the last year or 2. I think a lot of you are probably familiar with a binder, which is, it's like a prepaid where you can prepay a title policy. So if you sell within 5 years, you only have to pay 65% of the increase in the premium. Are you familiar with that? Okay. When you close a title transaction, you have your owner's policy. So let's say the owner's policy premium was was $1,000. We'll just, for simplicity for my brain, okay, was $1,000. If you as the buyer are going to hold the property for less than 5 years, you can prepay a hold open policy so that if you sell within 5 years and now the new sales price has a $1,250. So what you would do is the seller would pay the $1,000 for the owner's policy, and you as the buyer would pay $250, which would be prepaid. So you would pay 25% of that premium at closing. So then in 5 years, you decide to sell it. And let's say now the premium is with the new sales price is $1,750. Okay. So instead of paying $1,750, you would just pay the $750. You would only pay the amount that went up from what the original premium is. So instead of paying $1,750, you'd pay $750, which would be a savings of $1,000. Okay, that's if you prepaid it. If you didn't prepay it, you still, if it was underwritten, if we underwrite it back with the same company, which we underwrite with First American or with DOMA, which used to be North American Title. If we take it back to the same insurer on it, even if you didn't prepay, we can do a 65% rate. So you get a 35% discount. But most won't even tell you or won't even look. So if I see that the transaction that they're selling, they just bought it a couple years ago, I'll pull and look and see who insured it. And even if it was a different title agency, like let's say Empire Title or somebody, if they had First American as an underwriter, I can redo the transaction and give it at a 65% rate. A lot of people don't even know that's a possibility and they don't check for you. Right? It's something I do all the time. If I see that we're selling in a short period of time, I'll look and see if they qualify for any additional discounts.
That is
So,
fantastic.
Most people don't even know it
I never
exists.
knew that. Did
Yeah.
anybody else? So
Investors that hold open policies, but I have no idea.
There, that's a prepaid hold
Yeah, I
open.
know, but I didn't even
Yeah,
really
but
know
there's
that.
a non-prepaid, there's a non-prepaid that is,
A little
You
bit
know,
more, but still saves
it's a little bit more, but it still saves you money. Yeah. So,
great. Thank you.
yeah.
Well, and don't forget, Lynn and Bree are here to help you with your marketing. They're not here today, but if you need help with that, they're upstairs. They come in, and if you have never sat down to meet with them, now's the time to figure out, is there another opportunity for me to reach out to my clientele, to reach out to my sphere? They can help you with a lot of that.
Do
So
we still have that marketing brochure down here, or did somebody make off with it?
I
Made off with it. I'll bring another one
don't
down.
know.
We had a brochure that has just a plethora of all the different door hangers and marketing flyers and social media posts. And,
what does that flyer say?
No, it's a book.
Oh,
like
it's a book?
booklet. Yeah, it's a
Oh.
folder. I'll get one, and we're trying to get the QR code for it. So
Okay. Okay.
I'll work
Great.
on getting that. So anyways,
Thank you, guys.
As
Any
always.
questions?
I'm your sister. Yeah, we're right upstairs. We're sitting, so feel free to bring your mind stuff, even if it's not one of the lists.
There you go. Thank you. All right, well, don't disappear. Art, come back up here because you just did this and we've still got 2 more to go. How many of you went and helped Art the other day? I don't see you here, but I know some people were here at this positive impacting event for our animal shelter. And this was last Friday. And we look at this, we've got people in there. What were you guys doing?
We were actually, they have these little treats
Kong?
for the dogs. They only have dogs there. They don't do cats there. They quit doing cats there. They only do dogs there. So they have little miniature dogs all the way to large size dogs. So they have these little cones here. And this is dry food with canned food. We mix up and we put it inside the hole in here. And then my wife here, we're covering it with the peanut butter. And stick them in here. We did a whole trash can. This is the trash can that we did right here. Full of these here. And then they'll take those and they'll put them in the freezer. And then what they let us do is they took some that they'd already made, pull out the freezer, and they let us walk around the whole facility and feed them, give the treats to the dogs within the facility. So it was a little heartbreaking, but it was a little satisfying, that even though these dogs were in a not ideal situation, we were able to help a little how to make their a little bit better, and a little bit more enjoyable for them, so.
They're only able to go out of their cages 3 days,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
3 days.
And then if they have behavioral issues such as a little bit of pacing and anxiety because they're in that situation, they go on the E-list and are euthanized. So it's heartbreaking, and I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking. Do not breed your pets.
No.
Please
No.
do.
Yes.
We have 2 more sessions coming up.
Yes.
I'll be
Yes.
doing the one on the 20th, and my assistant Marie will be doing the one on the 27th.
So these are on a Friday, and they are down at the Maricopa County location, I think, if I go back up
Yeah.
here. It's the Animal Care Center at 2500 South 27th Avenue. This is in our newsletter, folks. If you are not seeing it, make sure down at the bottom of our newsletter, we try to give you all sorts of information, but I know that means it's a really long newsletter. At the very bottom, there's a little thing, we try to highlight it and say, click below. There's a little line that says, click to open more. So if you are not seeing this on there, there is more stuff below. Almost every single Sunday newsletter has more items below there for you to take a look at. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah, and if you don't have time to donate, time, it also has a link when you go to RSVP where you can donate, and there's some Amazon wish list stuff on there if you want to donate, or if you have any new items you want to drop off. We have a box up in our lobby. If you have any new colors or anything, you can drop it in the box upstairs.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Now I ran over really quickly over those stats. Did anybody here have any questions earlier about the stats? How are you guys feeling about the market before we get to buyers and sellers? Because we did pretty good on time. Oh my gosh. Yes. How are you feeling about the market? What market?
It's just nice seeing something to show them.
So it's nice to have some properties to show your clients. There you go. How many of you have buyers you are working with right now? How many of you have listings? How many of those listings have been on the market more than 30 days?
Oh, I'm probably close to 30.
Okay, 28 days. Okay, so that, most of you put your hands up, but a few of you just listed some properties. So, any other questions before we get to buyers or sellers? Comments? Nope. You seeing a lot of policies come through, or it's pretty slow? Slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. Okay.
I just was wondering, the people that are listening, how many have the rock title and MLS 50% discount when you cover that in the listing?
Does everybody know what he's talking about? So if you have a listing and you put down under, I usually would do semi-private remarks because you want it shared with the buyers. It's not just for a seller item. If the buyer selects rock title, both the buyer and seller receive 50% off the escrow fee, not the title fees. Sorry, they can't adjust those like that, but the escrow fee is 50%. It must be in the MLS listing to get that discount. Okay, and if you open up that file with rock title, make sure you are sending a copy of that MLS printout to them that shows that it is there, and that way both sides get that 50% off. Okay. All right, buyers and sellers. Anybody got some buyer needs? What are you looking for that you can't find? There are people online?
In the chat, it looks like looking for a buyer, 1501 West Nectarine Avenue in Santan Valley.
Okay, so we've got a listing, is that correct?
Yeah, I just got a link here, but that's what it looks like. Oh, it's a 3-2.
Okay, anybody here looking at Santan?
What's the price on it? $420.
Okay, so to the person online, please make sure you put a link to that. I would probably also go on to the Arizona Realty One Group Facebook page and put it on there and just say, anybody looking at this. If you are not holding it open, you might also post on there to see if somebody else will hold it open. We're getting a lot of traffic I don't want to say all open houses, because I've seen some have been slow. But depending on the location of the open house, we have had considerably strong traffic at open houses. So that is a positive. I think it's a lot of buyers wanting to buy but aren't able to at this point. So that could be one of the issues, is they're looking, but they can't actually do anything.
Said back in Queen Creek, not.
Queen Creek, okay. Other buyer needs, what are buyers looking for?
I have this girl perpetual, she buys 1 or 2 a year.
Okay,
And it's just, she's really cheap, like even Maryvale, $300,000, but she will do a fix-up, she will even do a fire.
Right.
Her husband's in construction, they can fix up, and they are not, they look for a deal, but they're not looking for the killer deal, because they're gonna rent it, they're not a flipper.
Okay.
And if you just said it's better than a bank account, they have a rental. You have the cash, you don't want to put it in the bank, you'll earn more renting.
wow. That's a good position to be in, folks. All right, so other buyer needs, all of you raised your hands that you have buyers. There's nothing you're looking for that,
Well, okay, so my buyer came out of, canceled the contract, then they were a buyer, and now we're back on scope. So what I've been seeing, and my observation is showing many homes to them, for her, is I'm amazed at the condition of the listings that I'm seeing, and we're looking at up to 650. So it's no starter home really, and I'm just like, right now, I think that realtors should especially be upping their game, adding value, like we, right? And I'm just seeing a lot of listings that are presented in a way that I'm like, wow, this isn't. I just was really surprised. I just thought I'd share that.
so,
And the condition, like, some of the inspections that I'm doing, I'm like, wow, like, there's a dual pane window and the whole pane is broken out. So now this window's a single pane and they didn't put it on the spuds and like no one said anything. So did they not know this? They lived there for 10 years. So, but I'm seeing, because it's not like isolated, there's just
Right.
like weird stuff. And so I don't know if anybody else is seeing that.
So-
Like, maybe the realtors are, the listing agents are coaching their sellers properly to, like, if you don't want to sit for 60 days, like, let's really, it's like dating. Okay, you're not gonna go looking to your first date, right? You gotta.
spruce it up. But how many of you are finding that sellers don't want or won't make that extra effort?
I don't find that with my sellers. My sellers have been relieved for the guidance.
Okay, so good, relief for the guidance, so please make sure. So I always use the phrase setting expectations, right? If you're not communicating that with your clients, how do they know? And then all of a sudden you're coming in and saying, well, we got feedback from the last 5 people and they all say the place looks like a dump. Like, if you didn't set that expectation going, you need to get this in better order. So like you said, you're on a first date and people are coming in, they're not going to think this is really up to their standards.
Right.
So I think that's a great, way to make sure you're communicating with your clients. If you've got sellers, if you're a buyer's agent, what are you doing when you're going to these homes that look like, gosh, it would have been nice if somebody had, cleaned it up a little bit. Be careful not overdoing it with your clients, right? Don't, You're ghosting your clients? Ghosting the house. But be careful not overdoing it. Let your client lead the conversation and don't fuel that fire, because it might be the right house for them. And if you fuel that fire just going, oh my gosh, I know, I can't believe this is such a dump, you could end up wiping out an opportunity. If you're like, well, I get that it was not in great condition, but it really did have the space you were looking for. It had that extra area off the kitchen that you wanted. I get that it may need a deep clean, but it was a good house, right? So, I'm not telling you to ignore things, but try not to fuel a fire that gives the client an opportunity to say, nope, not looking at that one. Let's move on.
I
Yes.
have a listing north of the 101 by Pinnacle Peak, and it's an amazing listing. Houses are between 595 to like 615 with a pool.
Okay,
And I've had under contract twice. They did the inspection and it does need some updating inside, but I mean, we have a way under price, it's 515. So I feel like a lot of the buyers went in there, got, you know, bids on certain things they want to do, like a new kitchen floor, and they got scared. I'm doing my own, and it's like, so with another 30K, the house will be worth way more with already with some equity. So I think that's kind of what we have to be doing now. Some of these houses, you know.
well, I think, yeah, go ahead, Lee.
Yeah, we have the renovation loans.
Or even what we can do,
Conventional, yeah.
we can also do is, as a seller, if they want to give credits, the houses, I mean, could probably appraise for like 530. Give credits and then do receipts from some of these contractors, some of these, you know, subcontractors, and then exactly. So there's no limit on credits, or I guess it could be, but it's not the same as the limit that the lenders have on session. So they can go to credit and then still get the house.
Yeah, just make sure you're talking to the lender to make sure that those are allowed. Most cases, they can be structured correctly, they're fine, but don't just assume, make sure your lender's a part of that conversation. And so the idea is that you might write the home for $10,000 more and then get $10,000 to be paid to, or a check being written to a company. I know I've done that a lot for roof work. If you have a seller that can't afford to do the roof, but you want to advertise that new roof, you can actually work with a roofing company to get it prepared, but then not have it done until you go into escrow. And then usually the roofing company will allow to be paid out of escrow when you close, so that you're not actually having to come up front with those dollars. Now they're still liable if the deal falls apart, they've got a problem, but I mean, it's a good way to get it set up initially so that the seller doesn't have to, you know, come out of pocket right up front. Okay. And then the key with that is you're advertising that you have a new roof. So, right. And you're not focusing on the fact that the roof is going to cost this amount. You can actually advertise and get the benefit of that work being done. If instead you discount the price because there isn't a roof, then they come back and ask for the roof. All of a sudden you're giving a roof and not getting the value for it. So it's much better if you know you're going to need a new roof to try to work with your seller to get that done up front. Does that make sense? Yeah, Lloyd?
It comes to roofs too. More than once I've had a seller who during the inspection found out that the roof needs to be replaced, particularly it's a little different if they open. A lot of times their homeowner's insurance will replace that roof prior to the sale because it is an issue.
Just depends if it wasn't hail damage, if it, yeah, we haven't had hail damage for a while, but some of them could. There was wind damage a year ago. So if there was a lot of tiles that went off or shingles that went off, that you could actually get that. And there was a while with the hail damage, we were getting roofs replaced right and left.
Never hurts to ask.
Correct. Yeah. So,
Renovation loans are awesome. They just take a little bit longer.
so. And you know, that might be one for that property that you're talking about that needs that work. Maybe that like 203K loan might be an option. So, all right. Any other sellers, buyers, sellers, anything else? Nope. All right. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Has Cuba or anybody at ROG Legal talked about the class action lawsuit with regards to fire commission? How the company will pivot if that changes? It seems like a majority of brokers that were in that lawsuit have settled already and no one left is dark.
So our legal counsel was here and spoke for an hour on that about, what was it, 3 weeks ago? So unfortunately you missed that, but basically the comment was, we will pivot when the legal issues are done.
Yeah.
We are not a party to the lawsuit. So the companies that you saw that have bailed were parties to the lawsuit. Their comment was there's a lot to go before NAR is going to walk away from this, and most likely they will go to an appeal if for some reason they lose. They still feel very confident that they are going to be able to succeed at trial. It's hard to say. We've already seen a change. If you haven't noticed, the MLS now allows you to enter $0 in there. So they did change from the 1 to the 0. I will do the buyer broker, so you at least know how to do that. Again, not next Monday, but the following Monday. But I think that you need to be having that conversation with your clients. One of the things that I will tell you that I spoke to a listing agent that I guess they didn't know to have that conversation with their sellers. So when you are taking a listing, please have the conversation with your sellers that your commission, there are 2 parts to your commission. Yes, it is all going to Realty One Group, but you are then providing a co-broke that the seller's agreeing to. But I've had a couple of conversations with agents that seem to think that they just determined that number. The agent determined that number themselves. And I'm like, why are you not showing them exactly what has been sold in the area and what commissions have been given? So when you're providing your comps of recent sales in the neighborhood, the commission's right there. Why are you not sharing that with your client to say, okay, in this neighborhood, right? Because you can't say in Arizona, the co-broke amount it's not possible, folks. And I think that's part of why NAR does not believe the case has merit, is it's not possible to do that, right? Even with all this going on, there is no standard anywhere, right? Even in this office, if I were to pull every single listing contract, we would have all different numbers, right? So, but that's the thing, look in that particular neighborhood. You've got X number of single family homes, you're listing a single family home, same price range. What has recently sold and what were those co-brokes that were offered? Then what is active? What are you up against? If everybody that is selling for 3 bananas versus 2 bananas, like that is information you need to give to the seller and then say, and what would you like to offer? That is your choice. It is not our choice as realtors. It is the seller's choice. You negotiate for what you want, but that other part, what does the seller want to do? Right? Because if everybody else, like I said, is listing at 2 bananas and you want, if the seller's like, oh no, I want to do 3, I want to do 4. Great. They can do whatever they want. That's the seller's option, right? And it starts with the listing agents having those conversations. If we're not having that conversation, yeah, I get how hard it is as a buyer's agent to have the conversation because obviously nobody's having it on the other side. It's a 2-way street. So yes, you need to be talking to your buyers, but please, when you are taking listings, you start that conversation. Have that conversation with your clients, give them the data, ask them what they want to do so that they are making those choices. So, all right. Any other questions? Have a great month. I can't believe this. It's amazing. I love the cooler weather. All right. Oh, we've got more people on chat. Did all those folks get answered? Okay. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? My son is